They make a One Piece fighting game, dog. A Kizzie, I can't even think about how it would look. Yo, what is going on, guys? Wow, I can't believe this, but ArcSys actually said the B word. Not the B word you might be thinking. Blazblue. Yes, Blazblue was mentioned, and I'm going to go ahead and read about what they were talking about and what to expect about Blazblue. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you guys feel. And let's jump into the video right now. Blazblue ain't dead. The Arc System Works PO doesn't want Guilty Gear and Blazblue to compete with each other. Well, that is not for you to decide. That is for the internet to decide, because they always want to compete. Nothing cannot coexist with each other anymore. When it comes to fighting game, Arc System Works is in the top of the food chain between Guilty Gear Strive, Blazblue, Dragon Ball FighterZ, DNF Duel, Granblue Versus, and others. ArcSys is the most active developer of quality fighting games in the business right now. As such, there's no shortage of dreams that fans would love to see developers tackle. So, you know, basically, ArcSys is out here carrying all the stuff, things like that. And Kadoka, they're talking about some of the potential dream games, the future of Blazblue, and its commitment to pursue new IP collaborations opportunity. Let's go. Let's go. I think the problem is with Blazblue, it just came at the wrong time. Central Fiction came out literally today. It would change a lot of things, I'm telling you. People don't like playing older games like that, you know? We believe we spoke at EVO last year, and you mentioned that you wanted to be more aggressive about pursuing opportunities to collaborations with new IP owners. Is this still a major priority for you? Yep. So he's basically talking about that he basically want to go hard on IPs. So that might be One Piece fighting game. We might get a Naruto fighting game. You know, all of the crazy, right? All of that crazy. Wasn't say it's a priority at this point, but we did say at the EVO that we're trying to create more IP collaboration games. Is before EVO, during EVO, and after EVO. We're still making steps towards that goal. So the goal for ourselves and for our company, we really want to make something that makes a fighting game community happy. So whether that is other IPs or using our own games, we're just going to keep pushing forward to continue to make the members of the FGC satisfied. Damn, that's crazy that the CEO of ArcSys is like saying like this. They're not even talking about like the broader audience, which they target, and it was successful. They said they want to make sure the fighting game community is satisfied. That's pretty heavy, which is nice. I like that. As of today, next we are in talks with other people. About possibilities. We continue to pushing forward. The community can enjoy. So I can't get into details, obviously, at this point. Essentially, that's to answer your question. Damn. And basically talking about how do you feel about the performance of Strive and the future of Guilty Gear series. So regarding Guilty Gear, it kind of exceeded all of our projected expectations. Along with, of course, we put out 2 seasons that we have already, and we want the game to continue on and continue strong. So we plan on continue making those seasons available. But in terms of planning for the next game in the Guilty Gear series, for now we're sticking to the seasons. Sound like to me it's going to be for a while. It's not like Guilty Gear Strive might be their thing for like the next, like, kind of like how Street Fighter V was, basically kind of like 5, 6, 7 years. You know what I mean? That's their plan probably. And it makes sense because it seems like Guilty Gear Strive was like pretty damn expensive, you know, in a lot of ways. So, you know, makes sense. There's still a lot to be done for the game, but once that is finished, then they can start thinking of other things. But that's a long way to go. Damn, it's crazy. Another thing we talked about back at EVO was Blazblue, where you said that you have a plan, but that is your first priority was to expand Strive. With Strive now being on every major non-Nintendo platform, crossplay being implemented, and now you're going through Season 2. Are there any updates to your plans regarding Blazblue? We're very proud of how the community has interacted with Blazblue. One thing we're concerned with, one thing that we're thinking about right now is we don't want to really have Guilty Gear and Blazblue competing with each other, so we're focusing mainly on Guilty Gear. But of course, Blazblue is a title that the community loves. The community has put so much effort into making it what it is today, and keeping that in mind, we want to touch back on the series at some point. It's definitely not the case that Blazblue is done. It's something that we will be in the future, but for now, Guilty Gear is the main. So it's not like we ain't getting another Blazblue another 3 years, which I guess is cool. I'm curious how Blazblue is going to look in 3D, you know? Like, that's going to be crazy. So I'm wondering how Blazblue is going to hit that 3D, like how it's going to look, you know, and how they're going to do it. I know it's going to look amazing, but man, want to look at the technology of the time and see how they can create an equally strong impact for the players. So as always, ArcSys' motto is to keep pushing forward and keep having something new, exciting, and impactful for the users. And that's something that we're going to be considering eventually when we do put out a Blazblue. So it sounds like Mori is not doing it, which makes me sad. No, Mori! So we have something to keep in mind. So it's basically talking about switching gears to DNF affiliate. With aiding, who is a beloved fighting game developer themselves. Can you talk about a little about the collaboration, stuff like that? But something to keep in mind, ArcSys is not actually a very big company. We have around 200 members under our house, and with that limited amount of people, it's limited amount of resources we can put towards games. So working together with companies like Aiding and other companies as well really allow us to put out our games the way we put out. Even Guilty Gear Strive was not 100% in-house. We had a lot of collaborations with artists and programmers outside of the company to help that put forward. So yeah, of course, moving forward onto other titles and to other games, we plan on continue working with other developers to help us out and create those games that ArcSys is known for. That makes sense. I mean, it's not like to me that like various companies and things like that has been like working on these games, and I'm curious what aspect that they're really working in. My logic is probably the network, and probably like just certain functionality that happens in the game. But I don't think probably the core. Maybe the core. I'm not sure. I know the visuals and the art is probably definitely ArcSys, but I'm curious what other companies has put in. Another thing that's interesting too is that they said they also worked with other companies. So I'm curious what other companies have they worked with. Finally, I'm going to bring up a game that is, I think, a dream game. It's the idea of the fighting game fan is something that often gets brought up as something that they want to see ArcSys. So do you have any thoughts on potentially ever doing a One Piece fighting game? Oh, a One Piece fighting game. As I said before, I want to work with other people and use what resources we have create. We have to create a fun game for the FGC to really rally behind. However, One Piece is something to think about. I can't say whether we're thinking about One Piece specifically. I can't say, oh yeah, One Piece, yes or no. I can't say either way, but it doesn't mean it's decided, or it doesn't mean it's outside the realm of possibility. Bro, you really have to understand that we're a small company. We can't take up any project that comes across. We have to consider resources. They make a One Piece fighting game, dog. A Kizzie, do not put them in the season pass. Give me a Kizzie. Please give me out Kizzie. I will literally bend the knee for ArcSys. I can't even think about how it would look if they made a One Piece fighting game. Oh my god. To get back, I'm glad to hear that they're not dishing and throwing away Blazblue. That makes me happy. I look forward to what they do to Blazblue. I personally hope that they make it obviously 3D, but I really hope that they keep like a lot of things that made Blazblue, and just also bring a lot of excitement that people always enjoyed about the game, and keeping it fresh and things like that. And I think that'd be really, really cool. I know Guilty Gear as a whole wasn't really about combos, so I will hope that Blazblue is about combos and things like that. So that'd be really, really cool. Not sure what they're gonna do. Just knowing the direction now, they have time to let things cook and just see. But we'll definitely have to see what their ideal vision is for Blazblue. But it's not like that's not going to be for a long time. So that was pretty cool. I'm glad to hear this. This makes me happy. I look forward to what they're going to bring, man. Especially for the collaborations that they have. One Piece, please. Come on.